June meeting for the Veterans Memorial Island Advisory Committee. So I'd like to welcome everybody here and begin promptly. Barbara, would you lead us with the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yes, I'd be happy to. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. I'd like to just make note that last month the Council Advisory Committee did not meet because of a number of illnesses, but we're here in full force this month and ready to proceed. To begin with, we'd like to discuss or have any comments in regards to the April minutes that were published and sent out for our review, or any recommendations for changes? Okay. Rita, there was just one that I noticed. It was on page 2. The point of contact for Memorial Day was listed as Mr. Sam Coons. It's a spelling correction. If the last name could be spelled Kouns, that'd be fine. Okay. Can I get a motion?
With that change, I move approval.
Okay.
Second.
And second by John. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. So carried, and please file for record. All right. Audience participating. Any from the group? Okay. I see none, so we will proceed. For old business, Mr. Slezak, any comments in regards to your observations for Memorial Day?
Did you skip this
I'm so sorry.
Do you want to go new? Or you want to go old? I'll give you old if you want. You want me to give you that quick?
Yeah.
We'll run through real quick. Why not?
Yeah, let's do that.
Go ahead.
Rob Slezak, Recreation Director. The Memorial Day ceremony, as you all know, was a great event, great participation. You had a crowd of probably estimated between 1,500 and 1,600 at that activity. Really good crowd. Everything seemed to go very well. With your going through the Vietnam Veterans Vigil and Victims' Rights Memorial updates, as far as I know and what I saw, there were no problems at all. I know your Vietnam Veterans Vigil roughly had about 50 or 60 people there for that one. And then I'll hand it off to Don Dexter for the update on cenotaphs.
Okay. I'll tell you, yeah, that'll be fun. Yeah. Come on, Don.
Okay. Good morning. Don Dexter with Public Works Department. All of the cenotaphs and markers are in place, as you probably have saw on Monday. And we've gotten the invoices, and they're in process of being paid if they haven't been paid already. And then the Memorial Island Sanctuary Tree and Landscape Care, I'm thinking, Tony, that you wanted just an update on we replaced a palm tree that had died along the western area, western walkway, and otherwise everything else is running routine.
I was. It's more of a way to say thank you and what's being done out on the island, because the island looks magnificently.
I'll pass that along to Nanette and Scott Dawson's guys went out there like they do every year before Memorial Day, and they touch up the monuments and make sure everything's painted and in clean condition, and then of course Nanette's crews make an extra effort before Memorial Day and Veterans Day to spruce the island up and get it in tip-top shape.
You can tell that every section of the city that's engaged with the island understands the broader meaning of it. I mean, it's really it's something to talk to the young men and and even the older fellas that show up out there. One of the members that brought the cenotaph for Wiggins was a member or lived out on the barrier island, and he can recall some of the events of the times. So, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. And, oh, Don, just one thing. I'm sorry, I should have mentioned. Would you, if you haven't, and you've already have, just investigate if it's possible to look at the palm trees, the skirts, if those can be trimmed on the island. I don't know what palm.
Okay, I know there's some Washingtonians out there that are too tall for us to reach without getting a bucket truck out on the island. And the bucket trucks tend, because they're so heavy, rut things up pretty bad, but we'll look and see if that's something that could be done if we get a dry spell for a while. I'll check with Nanette and see, but typically we don't trim those. They're kind of self-trimming, even though they look a little shaggy right now.
And I'm really, I am, it's a fine tooth comb to be worried about the skirts of the palms. Thanks.
Okay.
Hey, Tony, one other thing.
Yeah.
I just wanted to just let everybody know again that we're having the 4th of July ceremony out there, and just, as always, traditionally out there.
Okay, and in
Okay.
regards to the 4th of July, just what exactly will happen up?
Family fun and fireworks starts at 4 o'clock. The activities will start around 4. They'll be out in the park area. Of course, the fireworks themselves will go off at 9 o'clock, just
Okay,
as,
this is Riverside Park.
that's right.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you. Good. Okay, now, going to new business. Mr. Gomez, please come on up to the microphone, if you would. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Very good.
Yes, good morning. My name is Joe Gomez, Commander of the Korean War Veterans Association of Indian River County, Chapter 318. We would like to request to have our 60th anniversary of our armistice agreement on Saturday, July 27, 2013, at 10 a.m. at Veterans Memorial Island Sanctuary. It will be held in front of our Korean monument and plaque. It's not going to be a large crowd due to losing many of our members. We're hoping to have at least 50-plus members and visitors, and we would appreciate your approval. We thank you, the Korean War Veterans Association.
Do you think that microphone?
The Korean War started in
Joe,
June.
do me a favor, pull the microphone a little bit down, closer to you so we can hear better.
Okay, is that okay?
Yeah, that's much better.
Shall I go over it again, or
Yes. Give me the date again.
read the dates?
The dates.
Okay. All right. It will be held in front of our Korean monument and plaque. It's not going to be a large crowd due to losing many of our members. We're hoping to have at least 50-plus members and visitors, and we would appreciate your approval. We thank you, the Korean Veterans Association, Chapter 318. The Korean War started June 25, 1950, to July 27, 1953, a total of 3 years and 32 days. And that's it on that.
Thank you.
So what we're looking for is get permission to,
Okay, and have you submitted the request that's gone to the Recreation Department?
yes, I have.
Okay, and is are you sharing this with another organization?
Well,
some
we've
discussion on it?
asked the Chapter 106 of Port St. Lucie if they wanted to attend, and so far they says they're going to try to attend,
Okay, all right.
and that's about the only ones that we have, you know.
Of course, we want to, the Veterans Council should help spread the word, and all of us that want to honor the service of the Korean War veterans. So,
Oh, yeah,
so it's not
that'll-
just the Korean War, but all veterans or any
All veterans.
patriotic
Right.
members of the community that want to come out and honor those that served in the
Right.
Korean War, the Forgotten War, as they call
Right,
it. So,
the Forgotten
so,
War.
and this is televised, so we want to tell the community to be out on that morning. It's 10 o'clock, Saturday the 27th is the
Right.
time, right? So,
Hopefully we'll put an ad in the paper.
yes, sir. Publicity is good for
Yeah, let the public know so they can attend, and that'll help us out too. The more the better, you know. And
I just didn't want to waste the trip myself, so I had to come up here.
Go ahead.
Well, I want to say that
Please introduce yourself so that.
I want to say that we expect, Joe doesn't expect, but I expect a lot more people than 50. In fact, I expect somewhere around 300 or 400 to attend. And the idea is, the whole thing is, you have to notify the public of what's going on. Until you do that, you're not going to get anybody. But if you notify the public, and I think they will show up for this services, or this memorial of the armistice on the armistice. Can you help me?
The end of the Korean War is
The armistice. The July 27th.
Right.
And I think, well, there's a possibility. They say this war is not over yet. And because of the new president we have now, he seems like a little bit of a troublemaker. So I asked the Korean War veterans if they'd volunteer to go back, and they all said yes, providing the council here all volunteer to go back with us.
Oh, of course. Okay. Well, thank you.
Who have you appointed for
yeah.
publicity? Who's doing your publicity for you to help you spread the word?
Well, they usually say that I should be the publicity guy because I got a big mouth.
Yes, sir.
So.
And I don't think you identified yourself.
Yes.
When you came
I
up.
didn't. I'm sorry. I'm
just
really
we know you all. Of course,
well,
but,
you know who I am, and
But
most
for the
of you
record
do
and
know
for the
who I am.
community.
My name is Vincent Abate.
Okay.
It's
thanks.
ABBATE.
And of course,
Okay.
we, at the Veterans Council, we'll be talking about this more. And all veterans organizations are welcome to attend. Those that want to honor those that served in
Yes.
Korea.
So hoping that the Veterans Council announces it to their members on the next meeting. And I think if we make up our minds, we're going to have a lot more people there. And unfortunately, we don't have our own facilities, because if we did, I would love to have everybody there after the ceremony. But it's really not our building, so we can't do too much.
So, Mr. Bhatti, are you the point of contact? Who's the point of contact if you want to get the word out?
Who would we?
Your point of contact. Do they
Who should
contact
people
you?
call?
Do they contact Joe?
Well, first of all, I would like the Press Journal, if they would put it in their paper. We don't have any money to speak of, so we can't actually pay for advertisement. Yeah. So if they do it for us pro bono, that'll be great. But we'll look for other areas and other people that'll put it out and notify the public that we're having this service. We did lose about 35,000 people within the 3 years that we were there. And it amounts to about over 50,000 with those that came home from the wounds that they received there, and the ones that passed away from the wounds. So if you total it up, it's over 50,000. And it's nothing to brag about. It's just something to be said about. All right. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.
The question that
Yes.
Curtis asked you was, who do you contact for publicity? All right, and you're in charge of publicity.
Yes.
And do you want his phone number?
So, Vinny, I have Vinny's. I just wanted to make sure that when it got put out, so people can, if they're watching this, they know the point of contact on who to contact.
No, I want to get a new phone number because he calls me too often.
What is
You might
his phone
consider
number?
going on Rhett Palmer. He's a patriotic guy and would help you spread the word.
Yeah,
So,
we've been there.
okay.
He interviewed us a couple of times,
Yes, sir.
Korean War veterans. So I guess I have to get in touch with him, so
I think he would help. I don't know for sure, but
yeah,
he's a patriotic guy.
he'll take good care of us.
Has a
I'm
big
sure.
mouth. I mean,
If he doesn't, I'll take care of
He
it.
does.
So Vince, you and Joe will be at the Veterans Council this afternoon?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and so I think with the Veterans Council, we'll be able to get a lot more visibility, which will help.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like everything else. You have to expose yourself. If you don't,
Right.
you don't get anything.
Okay.
Mr. President, we also have a meeting before that, so maybe you could come back and report on the progress in our July
Correct.
meeting. So
Correct.
I'm sorry I interrupted you, Joe.
No,
that's if you could come back and
Thank
Joe,
you very much.
Joe, if you could come back and report at our next meeting at the beginning of July, we could spread the word again and maybe report on the progress.
I've been missing those meetings. I'm sure you noticed that I haven't been there because my wife hasn't been well.
Yes, sir.
So I have to spend a little more time at home with her.
Of course.
I try to attend every one.
I mean, coming back to this meeting
over
in
here.
July, and then, of course, it is televised, so we would get more exposure, and you could report
I
on
see.
your
Okay.
your
Right.
progress.
How can we miss? We want to be on television.
Okay, thanks so much. Okay,
Thank you.
all right. Okay, yeah.
Rob, is this application in order as far as to this point?
Yeah, so far everything's in order. The only thing is I've asked Joe just to speak with the ambulance and have them, and then the only other thing I would think is maybe water, if they would.
Okay.
Maybe Tony can roust it up again. He's done a really good job with that, of bringing water for that activity. But other than that, I think it's fine. We'll have 50 chairs out there, a podium, and a small sound system.
All right.
Very good. Okay.
Okay.
Any other points, Barb, anything? Okay, thank you.
I have a golf cart.
Okay. And
Oh,
they
yeah.
got a golf cart too.
Okay, okay. All right.
You
Yes, ma'am.
you need a motion to approve that application, or is it complete?
It is complete, my understanding, so
Has it been signed by everybody?
I have
No signatures.
a need for it to be signed by a couple folks, so what I would like to do is we can have this signed and then we can vote on it
We can vote
next
on-
meeting.
Yeah.
That would be
Okay.
really good.
The only reason we're not approving it today is because we don't have all of the official signatures that we need. But you gentlemen go right ahead with your plans. Okay.
Good, all right. Very good. Any other further on that? Okay. Proceeding on, this has moved quickly, and what I'd like to do is before I get into the bullets that are there, is I took the liberty to capture some of the images from the Vietnam Memorial Ceremony that was in April. And Rob mentioned it, and it's on the screen. And so what I'd like to do is just show those folks here and then that are viewing some of the images, because it was in April and it was an evening ceremony, and I think it was powerful. So with that, as you can see on the screen, it was at the Vietnam. Let me see if I can get it.
Scrolling.
Uh-oh. Let me see.
Push it on.
Yeah. There we go. No. No. Oh. Oh, we got it? Okay.
Don't hit the middle button.
Okay,
Arrow
yeah, I
buttons.
was looking. Okay, very good.
Wait a minute.
Okay. We've got it, thank you. Okay, as you can see, it was at the newly dedicated Vietnam Memorial site. And the members of the Vietnam Veterans Association was there, provided a color guard, and it was informal as opposed to a ceremony with a designated speaker. And you can see the sound truck from the city was there. The Marine Corps League was present and represented. And then we looked at what was presented was just a opportunity so that all of the veterans from the Vietnam War could speak about their experiences there. And as you can see, it began, and there was probably about, I'd say, a dozen people that just recalled whether they were an airman, whether they were a soldier, whether they were a Marine. And John, if you have any input, just make note as you would. But having served in the medical department, one of the veterans there was a member of a medical brigade, and he spoke of just the role that they played. So you can see as the day's lights came to a close, each were able to think back, and I believe the memorial was 75. We were looking at 30, 40 years dedicated towards the end of the Vietnam War. And whether they were in uniform or whether they were in civilian clothes, they each had a story to tell. And as usual with the service members, you have the trials and difficulties, but also you have the liberty to laugh at some of the occasions that were there, which fortunately gives some relief as you're serving. But airman, Marine, soldier, sailor, they were all represented. And then the end of the ceremony, they took the colors and retired them, folded them, and then the flag itself was brought and is at the Victory Center. And the Vietnam Veterans Association was given recognition for the ceremony that they conducted that day. So even though the crowd could have been larger, the fact that we had the opportunity for our own citizens to share their memories and their service to their country, I thought it was extremely fitting. As noted here, it was the fourth most deadly war in U.S. history. Only the Civil War, World War I, and World War II were greater. So I just want to say thanks from us here. We appreciate the work that went into it. That's what Veterans Memorial Island's supposed to be there for, and I appreciate it. Okay. With that,
Very nice.
I wanted to also mention very quickly that the Veterans Council did a lessons learned from Memorial Day, and I'll share this with Rob and the rest of the staff here. And the fact that we had so many people attend was awesome. The fact that we had the sheriff's office provide the Soldier's Cross for the first time, I thought was extremely important. We had a new Army NCO from the recruiter's office, a tall gentleman, Sergeant Garrison, who is a member of the 3rd Infantry and in Washington, D.C. He had been in Vero a total of 1 month when he was given the assignment to come to Memorial Island and be part of the ceremony. So he had to get a map to find out where Memorial Island was. Also, I wanted to say thanks to George Glenn, and George provided gladly the water for the occasion. And every occasion is powerful. The next ceremony, the president of the Veterans Council thought it may be really of benefit to the community for Veterans Day in November if we invite the Gold Star families. They were at the SEAL Museum, but the families that have experienced the tragedy of losing a loved one in combat have a lot to share, and maybe we'll see them. So, okay. But again, Memorial Day was awesome. I want to say thank you. Don Dexter, the fact that we had in May the fruition of 15 new markers and 5 additional ones added to the island with Captain Thart and Wiggins. I appreciate that. Okay, Memorial Day Foundation, the bullet there. Last month, even though we didn't meet, Rita sent out to everybody, and you should have received it. And I think we have copies, Rita, in front of us somewhere. There is a handout on the Memorial Day Foundation. And the Memorial Day Foundation, if you just look in front of you on the handouts, is just a national website that's based out of New York that has visibility throughout the United States of all the memorials for all of the conflicts. And if you go to it and you look up Florida, as I did, Florida is represented only by a very small sampling. And the majority of those are across in Tampa area, and a few up in the north central part of the state, and a couple in the Panhandle. But this is an opportunity, and I just wanted to bring it up to the council and get their feelings in regards. We have the opportunity to basically submit the information of the memorials for Indian River County to that foundation. And what they will do would be to add it to their website so that people going there, if they came to Florida, would recognize the fact that Indian River County has done so much to honor our veterans. So,
Do you need a motion?
well, I just the question.
I would think.
I would move
think
if you
you're-
need a motion. I
Yeah.
move that we
Yeah.
go ahead and do
So,
and submit our.
can I get a motion that we go ahead and capture the memorials dedicated to the veterans in Indian River County and work with the Veterans Council
I so move.
to assist them and providing that to the foundation.
I'll second that.
Okay.
I think you indicated at a meeting previous that there is no charge for this.
That's correct.
It's a matter of somebody taking the time to write the letter, send them the information, and that they would be nice enough to add it to their website.
That's correct.
And under those circumstances, I think that's wonderful. So,
Okay.
It looks like also where it has wars commemorated in towns, there's like in Sanford, Florida, there's a Korean War veterans. In Jacksonville and Tarpon Spring, there's a Vietnam
Right.
memorial. Looks like we would be able to list all of the, not just Memorial Island, but
Oh, without a
list
doubt.
the individual
Yes.
ones. And I think we're going to be probably one of the only POW/MIA monuments. I don't know of another one really in Florida. So it's,
In review of all of the memorials in Florida, which I did, we clearly stand out as a community that really has done a lot of dedications and a lot of recognition for the veterans. We're the only island dedicated to the veterans that I know in existence. There's a ship. There is actually a building in St. Cloud that was dedicated after the end of the Civil War by the Army of the Republic as a site for older Civil War veterans to come to. So it's pretty educational. But if there's further discussion, we'll do that. Otherwise, we have a motion
we did.
that we
It's done.
work. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Unanimously carried. Very good. Proposed benches. Very quickly, I would like to say, on behalf of Memorial Island, thank you to Mike Malloy. He provided a donation that covered the cost for the Purple Heart bench. In addition, I'd like to say thank you to the Korean War Association that's represented here. They have provided a donation as well towards the what's the proper word? Defrayment of the expense for that bench. Don, I'm not sure what the timeline would be to have those constructed and placed out on the island, but any words to the group here?
We should be able to get them out there this summer without too much trouble, and so definitely before Veterans Day.
Okay, all right.
And is it just the one now that we're looking at for the Purple Heart
It'll be both for the Korean.
and the Korean? Okay.
And one other item regarding the benches, I noticed that the bench over by the DOD marker memorial faces a wall of mangroves. And I don't know, is it possible to turn those things around?
Yes, and we talked about that when we were looking at some things out there, flipping
Okay.
a couple around. So
So if we could turn that around, it's a beautiful setting behind it, looking out over the parade field that's there. Okay.
Can I, like we have a meeting with the Veterans Council this afternoon, so are we trying to raise money we want to put more benches there, or it's if they want a bench near their memorial, they would have to donate $500?
Yes.
Which is it? Are we?
Well,
do we need
my
one?
understanding was the direction we were looking at was at the Purple Heart Monument because there was not a bench there, and also the Korean War Monument because there was not a bench there.
Yes, sir. Okay.
And those two locations, we could, it's $500 a bench.
Okay. So we're making progress on the Korean War veterans, but we still need $300 more for if somebody that's watching wants to donate the $300 more. But then that takes care of what we're looking for right now, as far as a bench at the Purple Heart Monument and at the Korean War veterans.
Yes.
Okay.
And there had been some talk about a bench at the POW MIA monument, but there's not really a good location there for that. That's because it's sitting on an island by itself, basically.
Yes, I think it's good as is, unless.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Don. All right. The Veterans Memorial Island Sanctuary Trifold, that is still a matter to be completed, but I would like to note that the Veterans Council of Indian River County has agreed to assist in developing that and producing that, which is great. So now it's just a matter of getting the concept in place and having that proceed. Of note as well, on Memorial Day, we were provided 2,000, the community was provided 2,000 programs. In addition, 2,000 of the new Memorial Island map that reflects all of the veterans that have been researched and the full names and their location on the island. So on behalf of the community, thanks to the Veterans Council. Okay. Also, one final thing for me. Before I came this morning, I was made aware that on the Veterans Council website now, there is a page, or I guess it would be a page, set aside for Veterans Memorial Island Sanctuary. And I'll give this to Rita, but the background for the sanctuary is now posted there, along with all of the veterans' names that are up to date, and an image of the cenotaph area. So things are moving along. And lastly, and I keep saying that, thank you to Vero Home, Life, and Design for their May-June publication on page 36 is a profile of Veterans Memorial Island, and included in it were some observations by a half dozen veterans that just reflect on Memorial Day. So, thank you. Okay.
Yeah, I'd seen that. Yeah.
Okay, members.
Nothing.
Barb? John?
I was at the meeting of the 1st Marine Division Association in Orlando, and the first sergeant that was in 1st Battalion, 1st Regiment, 1st Division that I served with in Vietnam gave me this picture, a photograph. Maybe I can pass it around, but I'm sorry I didn't bring one for everyone, but it's General Eisenhower addressing those troops that were getting ready to go into the D-Day invasion, which, if I understand correctly, is Thursday is the anniversary of the invasion, the D-Day invasion, and basically those troops that did that saved the world. Many veterans have done many things, but I guess you can't And it's just amazing what they did at that time. And you wonder how many of these survived the invasion. This is the airborne troops that jumped behind the lines. And I just happened to sit at this table with this gentleman, and he said, "Here, you want a copy of this?" And I said, "Yes, I do." And so I don't know, maybe for the Historical Society might like to have a copy. So that was just one thing, and to remember those and to honor those that are still with us, that the World War II generation did save the world and win the war for us. Also on the programs, you had mentioned the programs for Memorial Day. My wife designed that. I take credit for it sometime, but she really designed the program, and then the Sheriff's Department printed that for us. And I want to thank the Sheriff's Department Sheriff's Department for doing that.
The production of a program is no small feat. I would just, the creativity that goes into it and the attention to detail is extraordinary. And on behalf of the Memorial Island group, Carla, thank you, and the sheriffs out there, thank you, and everybody that's involved. It's a huge undertaking.
It is a team effort, of course. Someone asked me about the cover of that, and that Carla got from the National Memorial Day poster, I guess. Each year the country has a national POWMIA poster, or a National Veterans Day poster, National Memorial Day poster. And then also you had mentioned the coverage that we had in the Home, Life, and Design. Also, the Hometown News has given us good coverage for Memorial Day, if you all haven't seen it. And then in today's, the Press Journal and News Weekly has a nice photograph of the Marine Corps League and some others. I think the looks like the American Legion is there. And then also 32963, which is a great publication in our community, had a full page of Sergeant Garrison that helped us move the wreath.
Oh, wonderful.
Full page.
Oh, I'd like to see. When was that?
It's in the
This new one?
32963. I think it might be, is it last week's or this week's? I dropped a copy off at his office because I knew he'd like to have it. And,
Okay.
and then there's inside that section. I mean, Sergeant Garrison is on the full page. And in fact, I told him I think you were there, I said, whoever moves the wreath usually winds up on the front page of the paper. And sure enough, he's got a lot of coverage. And then inside was some of a young Marine, Heath Harris, that's just back from training in his dress blues, helping Ernie Miller ring the bell and some of the others that were involved.
And also, John Michael, if you Google Vero Beach, Memorial Island, and our Memorial Day ceremony, they actually have a picture of the 5 World War II veterans that were sitting up front. So it's a very nice picture. So it's there.
What is that? You Google?
I just Googled Memorial Island and then Memorial Day, Vero Beach, and it popped up. I'm not sure what the picture is, but it's there. It's got the Mataranas, and it's got Dick Cornell, and it's a really nice photo of them all saluting. So.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I have.
Oh, sure. No, it never ceases to impress me. Every time I go out on the island, every ceremony, you walk away with more. I had 2 families, Sergeant Brooks, who's dedicated on the island. I'd mentioned probably 6 months ago the story of his service. He was he's a Marine that was their company or platoon was ambushed in an open rice paddy, and I believe 18 service members were killed. There were 2 Silver Stars awarded, and then they think the Navy Corpsman ended up getting the Medal of Honor. His dad was killed there as an NCO, and his son told me that he was 3 years old when his dad was killed, and he wanted to share that story with us. So I'll continue to work with them, as well as the Hogan family approached me to provide more information. So it's awesome. Joel?
No.
Ma'am?
No, it's just wonderful, the coverage that we received and continue to receive. And I think it certainly is a reflection both on the city of Vero Beach and also Public Works Department and our Recreation Department. we are blessed with people who really care, and it shows. So this was a marvelous example. So I thank all of you.
Curtis, I know you're an alternate, but anything from the
I've said
U.S.
enough
Army?
today. I got it.
Okay. And sir, Mr. O'Connor, I would like to not forget your engineering team who dedicated their time and energy that went into the map that is available for the public to review until Mr. Kirkpatrick stepped in. We did not have that level of sophistication, and I just want to say thank you to that department as well.
Well, I really appreciate the kind words about the organization, and we do try to care and place our emphasis where the community really wants it, and working with the Veterans Council obviously is something we enjoy doing in the Memorial Island Commission. And I think it is, you know, it's a monument. The Memorial Island is really a monument to our community and to really the entire area. So hopefully we'll maintain those levels of service and keep the island as one of those crown jewels of our community.
Okay, thank you so much.
Very nice.
With that, there's no further business that I can see, and a motion that we adjourn.
So moved.
Okay. Second. We are adjourned.